So a few days ago, Dave dropped his album Psychodrama, and I'm going to call it from early. I think it's going to be album of the year. And that is a very, very bold statement this early on in the year of March to be calling that. But there's very little that I think can top it. And so whether you're from the UK and have listened to this, or whether you're from Australia and this is your first time hearing about this album, let me give you 5 reasons why I think this is going to be album of the year.
Stop all the pain. How do you stop all the pain, huh? I used to hear a voice when I was praying, but nowadays I don't even want to be saved.
First off, the balance that he has. Now, although this album has versatility, I wouldn't say it's a mad versatile album either. I mean, you've got tracks like Leslie.
He was all that she had until they had an argument and he stopped calling her back. And I don't know if there was more to the story than that, cause she plays things down, but according to that.
Then you've got Location.
Bad girls wanna throw shade and ting, no shade, what shade is your foundation in? Darkest grey, the shade I'm in. 49 more if your babes want sin.
And then you've got Stratum.
I got paintings giving man stress. I ain't gotta sex it, message or text it. I don't wanna do you and I like I'm in Leicester, skipping my lectures.
You know, they're different kind of songs, but at the same time, it's very, very Dave-esque. What I mean is that he sticks to his style. Every single song in here is a staple of Dave's style.
Talent's in my blood and I don't want to be vain, but if I'm a psycho then I don't want to be sane. I used to dream of this shit when I was hopping on train. So bad I used to want all the fame.
Now that could sound silly because of course Dave made this, of course it's gonna sound like him, but there's plenty of artists that try new things and ended up sounding like a comparison to another artist. But what Dave does so well is, although he's doing different things, it still sounds very, very original, and that allows there for minimal comparisons to be made.
I made a link with the Russians, 6-figure discussions, dinners in public.
I mean, you got Stratum and Capital Screwface that are relatively similar. You've got kind of Drama and Psycho that are also kind of similar to each other. But then you've got really standout tracks here.
It's working twice as hard as the people you know you're better than, because you need to do double what they do so you can level them.
I think Black goes into a complete class of its own. I think Location goes into a class of its own within this album, even down to something like Purple Heart. We haven't heard Dave do anything like that before.
You think my work is art and I think you're a work of art.
And it was a welcome introduction in my opinion, because I think he delivered really well. And so you have all of these different styles mixed into one, and this is where it bleeds into my second reason why I think this is such a great album. Production. To my knowledge, Dave produced the whole of this album with the help of some other producers or artists, but I'm sure he had a say in most of this, if not all.
But don't watch what I'm making, just know I put both of the P's and up at the same time I put the pay in pagan.
So to touch on this very quickly, for those who haven't heard me rant about this before, my definition of an artist is someone who is able to do everything for themselves, or at the very least have a say in everything that goes on. And one of those key things is beat production or instrumental production, and Dave does have a say, if not does it all himself. I don't believe you can be an artist if you don't produce, hence why I wouldn't call someone like myself an artist, because I don't produce, I just write and perform. Now there's being able to do everything, and then there's being able to do everything including at the level, the elite level that Dave's managed to do it. In this day and age of people having short attention spans, you know, songs are getting shorter and shorter again. You know, we're getting more accustomed to these minute 50, 2 minute 20 kind of song. And Dave, in his production level alone, can keep you there for a minute plus with just an instrumental.
Screwface Capital.
Screwface Capital is the song I'm talking about here. The song finishes about 2 minutes something in, but then for the last minute to a minute and a half, it's just pure instrumental. Best believe I sit here and listen to it every single time. And let's not shy away from that. He's done this before with Hangman. I believe he had Nana Rogues, but I'll co-work with him on that one or produce that one, but it's not something that we haven't seen before in Dave's music.
Too many youths are dying and I'm sick of it. Go ahead.
To have an instrumental just fade out over a minute and just progress, and just, again, to be able to do that in this day and age is a very, very talented thing to do. Even down to Stratum. Stratum has that beat go on for the rest of the track, and that sample just slaps with those drums. We know Dave knows how to mix a sample. Again, the one on Screwface Capital is insanely good. Going back to his Game Over EP, he had My 19th Birthday. My 19th Birthday is still one of my top 10 tracks of all time, all genres, still to this day.
I spent my 19th birthday in the hospital with my brother and my mum, and I know it sounds dumb, but I felt like I lost it all. The pain's compulsory, suffering's optional.
And a huge part of that is down to how he uses samples and how he creates drums and other instruments around that to create this pocket that he then delivers in. I often say when reviewing tracks, I don't know if the artist has thought this deeply about it or not, and I'm 99% sure that Dave has thought this through. Why I'll talk about it so passionately, because I genuinely believe that he needs more recognition for the minor small details like that.
One eye on my ops, two eyes on my friends, cause at least my ops man knows their intentions. I turn a loss to a lesson, I turn a curse to a gift and a blessing.
Reason number 3, it's a pretty obvious one, but bars. Bars on lyrics on bars.
And Ram's done a madness charting, so the man got something in common, cause trust me, both of their things been barking. If you see him at a drink up parking, do it like Jordan, run up and spark him.
When you think of the lyricists of the UK, you know, you think of Crepton Conan, you think of Wretch 32, and Dave just naturally just takes a step into that top tier.
Girl, I can't lie, you're a gem, and I ain't even talking about the star sign.
He holds his weight in gold when it comes to barring out, because he does it so naturally. There's a few artists that I can think of that can bar out, but you can tell they're forcing it into their writing. The setup doesn't sound too natural for the punchline that there is, and although the punchline's great, without a natural setup to it, it's either you can see it coming or it doesn't really fit in with the song.
This me and I take that personal. How you gassed off a note that's purple, but you never got it off white like Virgil.
But Dave does a great job of putting bars and wordplay and punchlines in his setup. He doesn't fall into that typical 4 or 8 bar setup punch that again so many artists manage to do.
You see all the groupie girls and think they're heaven sent. I see 25 minutes worth of empty sex.
And it's not like he's just barring out for the sake of it. There's a message in his music as well.
He has to be with 20 man when he wears jewellery, and you see it as gangster, I see it as insecurity.
You know, he has that suicide bar, I think it's in the first track, that just, it's like if you commit suicide, you just pass the pain on.
You're thinking about doing it. Suicide doesn't stop the pain, you're only moving it. Lives that you're ruining. Thoughts of a world without you in it.
When I heard that bar, I had to wheel it up 3 times over, because there is such a deep meaning and message to what he's saying there. And he doesn't disguise it behind this useless wordplay at times. Sometimes wordplay can be completely useless, and there he strips that all away and sticks with just an impactful bar.
Being forced to leave the place you love because there's hate in it. People say you fake the shit, never stayed to change the shit. But black is being jealous, you'd be dead if you had stayed in it.
And so he knows what to use and when to use it. Again, going back to My 19th Birthday, it's another reason why it's one of my favorite tracks, because for 8 minutes straight, he bars out with a meaning behind every single lyric.
And then they tell you home's where the heart is, but I got a hole where my heart is, because I let a hole where my heart is.
No word of a lie, in that first 2 minutes of that freestyle, there is no syllable unwasted.
I'm gonna keep this cake and I'm gonna eat this cake. That's why I'm living 3 lives, I'm in GTA.
And so reason number 4, talking about everything having a meaning, he has a theme and everything transitions in this album. First off, the album's called Psychodrama. First track being psycho, last track being drama. So already there you can see that he's put a story together, a segment of his life put into the form of music for us to listen to. And he has this theme of talking to his therapist, or a therapist.
I'm here with David. This is our first session. We're just going to talk about your background.
But he's talking to this therapist that links all of these songs together, and it's almost like by the time you get to the last track, Drama, you're ready to loop back round to Psycho and start it all again.
For my childhood, our mother didn't hear me laugh. I'm presenting you the future, I don't fear my past.
The best albums can set you on a Groundhog Day experience, and I feel like this is just one of them. Once you get to the end, you're ready to start back over and go through it like it's an endless cycle. Now, I believe that when you listen to albums or EPs or mixtapes, you should listen to them in the order that it's set out and produced. Especially on the first time of listening, of course, and you shouldn't skip any songs even if you don't like them, just for the first time of listening, just so you can understand everything that's gone on in this album. And this leads me into reason number 5. There's not a single track on this album that I'll get rid of. Nowadays, you know, everyone, especially on Spotify playlists, you listen to an album, you get rid of the songs you don't like and you keep the songs you do like. For me personally, I'm keeping every single one of these tracks. And when I think back now, I don't think there's a Dave song that I've ever not enjoyed. Don't get me wrong, there's songs that I do enjoy more than others, but I can't say there's an average to bad song on this album. I mean, like Purple Heart, Voices, they're good songs for me. Like they are good songs and I won't get rid of them. But I mean, Screwface, Capital, Streatham, Environment, Location, to me, they're just like elite level songs.
It's been 15 minutes since me and her fucked, and I'm saying we still in the house for. Girls say I'm rude, but they won't ever leave, cause you know the jab right like Southpaws.
And so although I'll rate those songs higher than others, it's not that I don't enjoy those songs. Purple Heart and Voices, I will more than happily listen to. I mean, this album has so much replay value. I'm still playing his Game Over EP to this day. I'm gonna plug my 19th birthday one more time.
You gotta separate the rats from the G's. If you can't handle cheese, how the hell you gonna be a great?
It's timeless music in my opinion, and I feel like that is one of the main reasons why this album is gonna be album of the year, because I honestly do believe we're gonna talk about this album as a classic in years to come. No song skipped, a complete masterpiece of an album. Once again, this is just my opinion, but you know my opinion's right now. But on a level, I really appreciate Dave as an artist, and it makes me proud to be from the UK and to be supporting the UK scene, be supporting artists like Dave that really push this scene to be bigger than the US scene one day, which I don't think it will happen, but it definitely gives you enough of a reason to spark that debate of whether it can get there or not. And it's just albums like this and it's artists like Dave that can really push us there. And so when I sometimes shit on other artists and other songs, if you disagree with me, I suggest go listen to the song that I've criticized in some way, shape or form, and then listen to this album as a whole. Pick out the worst song from here, and I guarantee there's a reason why I can point out why Dave's songs are better than whatever artist I've criticized. There's reasons for that. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Feel free to follow me on socials, and yeah, appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll catch you man later.